Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now there's certain things in life that you can only do for the first time once. Now that makes perfect sense. Things like, for example, buying your first car, buying your first house, having your first child, different things like that. And today's video is one of those cases for me. So for me today, I get to unbox my first production run for my TFK T17 knife. So not only is this my first production run unboxing, this is really the first product I have ever developed, the first product I have ever actually gone to production with, and in this box I have the first knives coming to me from this production run. Now I'm extremely excited. It has been a long process. This has taken well over a year from the time I conceived this knife in my brain all the way through the design process, the prototype process, and now the factory build. So there's a number of things you're going to see. These knives are essentially handmade. There are some machine finishes here and some hand finishes, but for the most part, this is pretty much what you would consider to be a mid-tech knife. So in here, I have a number of them to show you, and if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to talk about, do me a favor, stay tuned. So as I mentioned, here we are with my first production run of the TFK T17. Now, part of what I want to do today is bring you guys into the middle of this process so that you kind of understand what it's like. So just with the idea that I'm a simple YouTube guy, you know, really just a creator, but here I am developing my own product. So what is it like to develop your own product? Well, first thing is, to get this even started, you have to have obviously a little bit of cash flow. So some of this process for me was how I was going to fund this process, get things going, and at this point I have come up with the first round of knives. So keeping in mind a couple of things. One, I would like to release by the end of this production run essentially 50 numbered knives, but the process takes quite a while. So if you look at my timeline here, basically, I started my process with this order on January 22nd, and here we are on March 9th. So part of what I really want to do is provide a high level of service for my customers. I like transparency, I like communication, and so I have been communicating all of the progress along the way throughout this build. And another thing that's very important is not tying up people's money for too long, but when I have to do that, leaving a set expectation. So my original expectations for delivery on these knives was 6 to 8 weeks, and at this point, as mentioned, I am just hitting the 6-week mark, which is perfect. So everything has come to fruition the way we expected, from the ordering process, the delivery of all the stock required to build these knives, TANF Family Knives getting hard to work, punching out these first knives for delivery to me, shipping across the ocean, me receiving them. Now you need to keep in mind the fact that there is customs involved, so these do get wrapped up in customs a little bit, and it looks to me as though there was a little damage in transit to the box, so I'm hoping here that I don't have any problems, but I don't foresee that. But at this point, I have finally received these, and the final steps is to take a look at these, inspect them for quality, making sure they meet the expectations, not only for me, but mostly for my customers. And then moving forward, we're going to get these things finally packaged up with their sheaths and get them out to everybody who's placed their orders. So now, just going through this unboxing process, I do want to be careful. I have a couple of things in here that I definitely do not want to damage, including the knives themselves. So getting into this and finding the seams, I'll just open this up real quick and we'll see what we have inside. So here we go. Get this outer packaging out of the way here. So what you see here is the factory packaging. Now I had these boxes sent to me all broken down for the ease of shipping. I didn't want something that was too bulky. If we built all the boxes and then individually installed all the knives, it would have been pretty much a big, huge, bulky process. So here at this point, I do have some assembly to do on the factory packaging, and you'll see that TFK does a beautiful job by providing a nice information card. So here are the information cards associated with each one of these knives, and I'll set that aside as I get this package further opened up. You know, so here I am opening up this package with this little EDC knife, and I'm like, man, what a letdown. I should actually be opening this up with my T17 prototype. So that was a little bit of a foolish move. So here I am now using my T17 prototype to open this thing up. So here you go. Each one of the knives individually wrapped. So you see they are all numbered units. I'm going to take all these out and get them out of the way and then take a quick look at this packaging. Here I have the factory packaging, and again these cards. So sliding this out of the way, here you'll see each one of the units nicely wrapped up. Now there are a number of different options strewn about in here, so I'm going to take a look at all of these. I'm going to try to kind of save this packaging because I think I may potentially ship the knives this way even outside of their sheaths just for a little extra protection here. But I do want to inspect each and every one of these for the overall fit and finish quality, and I just want to see these things, man. So let's get into it here and take a look at these knives. So this here I believe is unit number 1. So number 1, the customer bought with a Tanev Family Knives leather sheath, as well as a Kydex from Extreme Edge Custom Kydex. I can definitely see the black handle, and I know that this customer did order the full black option. So I do still need to have all the custom Kydex finally made. I didn't want to jump the gun, and keeping in mind, again, there is a little bit of a cash flow thing that you need to consider when you get into this stuff. I wanted to make sure that I got all the knives, that everything was delivered properly, that I had the final design on the Kydex completely nailed down. Now at this point I've gone through a couple of iterations of custom Kydex designs, trying to make sure that I get the functionality and the fit and finish exactly where I want it. Most of all for my customers, and the ability for everybody to use this knife in a very flexible manner. I really like versatility and functionality when it comes to this. So not only fit and finish, but the flexibility and versatility that comes with a Kydex system. Ba-boom. Here you have it. So this is unit number 1. Beautiful. So the black option came with all black stitching, no liners. So as you look at this knife here and exposing it, bam, there you have it. Production model unit number 1. That is freaking awesome. What a day. I'm just totally pumped. So all black, that same fit and finish and feel in the hand as all the other knives. Now you will notice there's just a touch of white on the handle. That is from the inside of the sheath, so not a big deal. This is G10 on the handle, so that cleans up very nice. Won't be a problem. So at this point I also have a Kydex that needs to be made for this particular knife, but it is in the works. So Extreme Edge Custom Kydex is currently working on getting all the Kydex made for customers who have ordered these Kydex. So at this point, this order is close to ready to being filled. And unit number 1, that is just beautiful. So now continuing on, I'll go through all the rest of these and kind of just check them all, making sure everything looks okay as I mentioned. So unit number 2, also receiving a Kydex, as I mentioned, not quite ready yet, but now that the knife is here, wow, this is like just something you don't always get to do. So fun, so enjoyable, awesome. So here you go, unit number 2 has that green liner, just the same as my prototypes. So here is my prototype. Here, the factory completed model. You will see it is very, very close. Now there is a little detail worth paying attention to, and I'm going to show you that right now. So here on the prototype, you'll see the lower grind ends just short of the finger choil. That was one of my comments back to the manufacturer. I wanted to ensure that this was sharpened all the way into the choil. So now on that final version, you will see that has been addressed. It's a very, very minor thing, but to me, this entire process has been about getting the details right. So little tiny things like that, to me, have mattered the entire way, and at this point, that has now been corrected. So you'll see that the production run has all the same fit and finish, features, and quality as the prototype, with the one little change being that grind into the choil. So here, taking a look at unit number 3, this also having the straight up black handle. However, the difference between unit number 3 and unit number 1 is the spine. Unit number 1 having that squared off and sharpened spine, and number 3 having just that standard spine. Now, as I've demonstrated, both of these capable of doing good overall scraping work, sparking of ferro rods, and different tasks like that. It's just if you want a little bit more performance, you can get that spine nice and squared off and sharpened. So here's my prototype, and as you can see, units 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the standard colors, being the black and then that green, and then just the variation between each one of them having either a sharpened or unsharpened spine. But now, getting into unit number 6, I wanted to have a few for a special project, so I did make a couple of blades for myself, just for some special opportunities. And here you will see number 6 with that bright red liner. Now this is just awesome, has a total pop to it, just looks great. I love the look of that red. I think TFK does a great job with their liners in the first place, and I really enjoy the red that they use. Now, red liners can be kind of funny. I want to point out how vibrant the red is on this knife. They chose a very nice G10 red liner. The stock itself is great. And really, if you look at some other knives, for example, here, the Boker Vox Rolled. The red they use is okay, but it's a lot duller. It's just not as bright. And even at that, has a little bit of a pinkish tone to it. Now, granted, this knife is older and it's been used quite a bit, but I can tell you that the red has never been nearly as vibrant as it is here on this TFK T17. I mean, just look at the difference there. That to me is, again, sweating the details, making sure that this stock and materials and build is just absolutely as high quality as possible. And again, the details going all the way down to the selection of the actual material used for the liners. And just one other little observation. Again, here, a Tops knife. This is the Viper Scout, but you'll see, just again, now this has a black tang, so just more similar to the TFK T17, but that red does not pop nearly the same way, is not quite as bright or as vibrant as you have here on the TFK T17. So nice job, TFK. Very much enjoying the way this looks. Now again, unit number 7 having that same red G10 spacer, however the difference in this one being that sharpened spine. So nice little variety, and overall just playing with the different combinations, trying to make things that pop and look good, but at the same time have that fit and finish and overall functionality. Now here with unit number 8, this could be my favorite yet. Here we have a nice bright orange liner popping off that tang, and in this case you'll see the unsharpened spine. But again, as I've been going through each and every one of these knives, making sure the quality and the fit and finish and the grind and all the little details are perfect, and every single one of these has been given the exact same amount of detail. Very well done, very nicely crafted, uniform from knife to knife to knife. And for a mid-tech knife, that is very important. That gives me the flexibility to really play around with different sheaths, because at that point, one mold will fit all of the knives. So it's not like I need to take each one of these blades and have a Kydex made very specific to each one of the knives. That is a huge deal, having this consistency from blade to blade to blade, and that is just a testament to the quality of work you get from Tanev family knives. Now here you have unit number 9, very similar to number 8, only in this case with the sharpened spine, and unit number 10. Now this is another experiment playing with the finishes. So here you'll see this does have the green liners, but this has a hand polished satin finish blade. You'll see the logo here just absolutely popping off the side of the blade. The etching is just beautifully done. This really sort of pronounces that etching and how beautiful a job TFK does with the overall construction and manufacturing here. Now I'm looking for a bit of an opinion. This here is going to cost just a little bit more money to manufacture than that acid stone wash finish. Is this worth paying a little bit of extra money to get this nice quality polished satin finish? Leave some comments below and let me know your thoughts. So here, from the prototype all the way through unit number 10, basically because of the time to make these and the overall quality and timing of everything, I didn't want to go too far and tie up too many people's money. So in here, a bulk of these going to my customers, a couple of them in here for me, just for a couple of pet projects, but for the most part filling these first orders. Now there is one last blade to take a look at just finally, and that is unit number 11, and this is a little bit special as well. So here, unit number 11, this is the standard model with the green liners and an unsharpened spine. So what is it that's special about this particular knife? Well, unit number 11 is going to Mark from Extreme Edge Custom Kydex. He will be making the final Kydex for all of these knives, and unit number 11 is the mold. So this knife will always remain in perfect condition with the ability to use this as the mold for all the rest of the units, and that is pretty important. Now Mark has hundreds and hundreds of knives that unfortunately just cannot be used, and that is the case with this unit number 11. This is going to be kept in perfect condition so that it's accurate when making the mold for all the rest of the TFK T17s. And at that, you will notice that this does not have a sharpened spine. That is a key feature, because when you sharpen the spine, you lose just a little bit of material off the spine of the knife. And for this reason, we left this unsharpened to make sure that all the sheaths will fit just about right. Better to have a little extra meat on there for the mold and then tweak the sheath accordingly than for it to be overall too tight and snug. So in that case, this knife will be quickly going off to Mark at Extreme Edge Custom Kydex so we can fit up the rest of these blades with their sheaths. So alright guys, there you have it, an unboxing of my first delivery in my production run of TFK T17. Survival, wilderness blade, tactical blade, whatever it is for you. For me, this is my baby. This is the first of hopefully many projects to come, but this will always be my first. So this has a little sweet spot in my heart. I very much appreciate Tanev Family Knives for their extremely high quality production, their professionalism, their ability to carefully communicate, and as much as anything else, getting literally every single detail exactly right. I mean, exactly. These guys are masters and professional at what they do, and I am very lucky to team up with them for this project. So thank you, Tanev Family Knives. You have done a magnificent job. So at this point, I am taking more orders for the next round of knives. Now, keeping in mind that there are already some people in line, so it may be that you make it this round, it may be that you have to wait. However, if you are interested in one of these TFK T17s, reach out to me. You can send me an email at outerlimitless@gmail.com. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.